Sou eu, né? Hello guys, how are you doing today? We are back with our Newcastle podcast, and today we are going to be talking about Lord of the Rings. Hello, Big Paul, how are you doing?
I'm good, and you, Zé?
I'm doing fine. Are
Hello,
you a
guys.
Are you a fan of Lord of the Rings?
Yes, I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings. I'm a fan of Lord of the Rings, and I also have a tattoo of Lord of the Rings.
Great. Are you a fan of the movie, or are you a fan also from the book?
Both of them.
Have you read the books?
Yes.
Very good.
But
Me
I
too.
prefer the movies.
I have also read the books, and after I've watched the movie. So let's talk a lot about Lord of the Rings today. But first, sobe vinheta.
Ta-na-na-na.
So guys, today talking about Lord of the Rings. First, I want to explain a little bit why we are doing this topic. First, this is an important year for Lord of the Rings because a new project surrounds a new project surrounding Lord of the Rings is coming, and it's a lot of people are expecting for this, which is
Lord of the Rings, yes, and the Rings of Power.
the Rings of Power, which is it's going to be a series from Amazon, from the Amazon, and it's going to be released on the streaming service Amazon Prime. Apparently, it's going to pass hundreds of years before the events of the first Hobbit movie and the first Hobbit book. But first of all, let's talk a little bit about history. Lord of the Rings is based on books, a trilogy of books, and also a book called Hobbit that came before the trilogy.
Yes.
The original trilogy of movies came in the year 2001, 2002, and 2003,
Yes.
and it's a masterpiece, like great movies.
It was a tremendous success, yes.
Tremendous success, like
17 Oscars.
17 Oscars. I think it's the greatest saga of all time. Para mim, a maior saga de todos os tempos. Maior do que Star Wars. Para minha geração, eu assisti esses 3 filmes no cinema. Para mim, representa mais do que Star Wars, embora eu adore Star Wars, Indiana Jones, De Volta para o Futuro. Todas essas sagas aí famosas.
Sim.
Senhor dos Anéis para mim
Fantasmas.
Senhor dos Anéis para mim é a melhor. Lord of the Rings for me, it's the best one.
Yes.
And you, what's your opinion? I would like, because we are from different generations.
Yes.
I have read the books, and after I have watched the movies in the cinema when they were released.
Yes.
I was a teenage when they released the movies, and it was very impactful. The movies were great, and it was amazing to watch them in the movies. It was different from everything I had seen until that time. And it was a great experience. And for you, how was the experience? You were much younger than me. You were very young when the movies were released in the cinema.
Yes.
How have you watched the movies, and how was the experience?
Yes, unfortunately, I couldn't watch the movies in the cinema because I was only 3 or 4 years old. So it was impossible for me. I wasn't able to watch it, but I watched it in DVD. Yes, I bought the original DVDs of Lord of the Rings, and it was something different because all my friends didn't like Lord of the Rings.
They didn't.
Yeah, because teenagers they don't like, not all of them, but most of them don't like the nerd universe. Yes, for them it's boring, too long. Oh, it's not in my style. But for me, it was a masterpiece. It's still a masterpiece. The effects, like if we compare a movie of Lord of the Rings to a movie of nowadays, it's very similar.
Oh, yes, I think
It's 20 years of difference, but the quality
I think
is still
the
great.
movies look great.
Yes.
Great. I like the assemble. The actors are great.
The soundtrack.
They had great choices, yeah. As
Yes.
escolhas foram ótimas, né?
Foram
Escolheram um elenco
excelentes
excepcional.
escolhas. Além do elenco sensacional, vamos dizer assim, o soundtrack, né? A trilha sonora foi muito bem elaborada. A escolha dos locais, né? Foi tudo gravado vamos dizer, na Finlândia, né? Foi tudo.
Não, Nova Zelândia.
Nova Zelândia, perdão.
Nova Zelândia.
É que eu só peguei o Lândia.
Inclusive o Peter Jackson, que é o diretor, produtor, e que, assim, que acreditou nessa saga, que vendeu a ideia para o estúdio, que ninguém acreditava, todo mundo falava que era um livro infilmável, inadaptável.
Sim.
Uma das ideias no projeto dele era filmar tudo na Nova Zelândia. Quando o estúdio falou, mas peraí, como é que você vai filmar esse universo? Como é que a gente vai fazer isso de uma maneira que dá para financiar, que não fique uma fortuna? Nós vamos gravar os 3 filmes juntos. Ele falou, vamos gravar os 3 filmes juntos de uma vez na Nova Zelândia, porque Nova Zelândia, ele dizia, é a Terra-média. Tem tudo que tem na Terra-média, porque
Isso
é realmente
montanhas, vastos vales,
vales gigantescos, montanhas com neve, grandes lagos, plantações. And it worked perfectly. It was a great choice. And
no chroma key.
No chroma key, like they really filmed it, and actually made New Zealand become a tourist destination, because nowadays a lot of people go to New Zealand because
visit where Lord of the Rings were recorded.
Yes, it is a kind of an experience.
Yes.
And in this new version of the Lord of the Rings, Rings of Power, how are your expectations, Big Paul?
My expectations are great. In some ways, I think there were a lot of polemics. There were a lot of discussions because of the series, because they changed some things.
What discussions, for example?
They discussed about different characters or different things.
They are going to have, for example, female dwarfs, like woman dwarfs, like vai ter mulher anão, o que não tinha. Na verdade, vai ter mais personagens femininos, né?
Mais femininos.
Porque isso era uma reclamação da trilogia original. Aliás, eu me lembro bem. Porque,
da
inclusive,
época, né?
Quando foi lançado, inclusive, deram uma importância no filme. Já tinha essa discussão, porque tanto a personagem da Liv Taylor, que é a mulher do Aragorn, né? Quanto a personagem da... What's her name?
She's an elf.
The elf. The other elf.
She's an elf.
Which has some importance in the movie, que tem uma certa importância no filme, mas que no livro passava despercebido. Porque o que acontece? Vamos ser sinceros. O livro original é extremamente masculino, o universo, que é um universo de guerra, é uma simbologia de guerra. Inclusive o J.R. Tolkien, que é o escritor da obra literária, ele fez a obra como uma analogia à Segunda Guerra Mundial, ele escreveu durante a Segunda Guerra Mundial. Os hobbits são uma referência à Inglaterra naquela época, que não tomava uma posição na guerra, e os hobbits são aqueles seres pacíficos que não querem participar da guerra e acabam sendo fundamentais para o final da guerra. Então tem essa referência. Então é um universo muito masculino. The Fellowship of the Ring, a Sociedade do Anel, they are 4 hobbits, 2 elves, a human man, and the dwarf. The dwarf and the wizard Gandalf. So, all male characters, and those are the main characters of the book, and they are the main characters of the movies. And in the movie, they try to create some characters to have female characters, otherwise there wouldn't be any.
Yes.
But even though they tried to create it, it was like small holes, small parts of the movie. And now I understand as a commercial decision, that it's important, if they are going to do a new version, it's important to include more women, because they also watch movies and series, and they want to feel included in that.
And in the original version of Lord of the Rings, I think it's in the third movie, there is a special scene for a female warrior. Yes, she is fighting with a Nazgûl. Yes. And it tells her, I cannot be killed by a man, but I'm not a man, and she kills him. Yes.
I am no man.
It was a great scene since the launching of the movie.
And actually, A lot of people think that was created for the movie, but no, actually in the original book, she's very important.
Yeah.
Although she doesn't kill the Nazgûl in the book as in the movie. It's a little different, but very good. So we have the original trilogy, which is a masterpiece. 3 great movies:
Yes.
Fellowship of the Ring, The Two Towers, and Return of the King.
Which
Have
is
you
your-
watched the director's version?
Yes, I watched it.
What do you think? Do you think it's good too, or not that much?
Not that much.
You prefer the movie version?
The extended version?
The extended version.
No, I prefer the extended version. Sorry, I confused.
Very good. The Return of the King has almost 4 hours in the extended version.
Yeah, and there are important things that they show in the extended version.
Yes.
Important scenes, even in The Hobbit, for example.
Saruman's death you see in the extended version.
Yes. Saruman's death, for example, in The Hobbit. Everybody thought the father of Thorin, the Oak Shield, yes, o Thorin, escudo de carvalho no Hobbit, everybody thought his father was dead, but actually he wasn't. When Gandalf goes to the kind of prison of the, I can say, the orcs, yes, his father is there, the father of Thorin.
Ah, você tá falando da versão estendida do
Hobbit.
Ah, tá.
Então são coisas importantes.
I haven't watched it. Eu não assisti a versão estendida do Hobbit, nem sabia que tinha uma versão estendida do Hobbit. Porque o Hobbit pra mim já é longo demais o filme.
Você vê só
que já fizeram 3 filmes longos pra um livro curto.
É aquela cena deletada, né? Que só aparece na versão estendida.
Aliás, já que você puxou o Hobbit, let's talk a little bit about the Hobbit. I think the trilogy of Lord of the Rings is a masterpiece. I don't like that much the trilogy from the Hobbit. I think it's good, but it's not great in my opinion. I think it's too long for the story that they have. What do you like the Hobbit?
Yes, I do. Especially because Ed Sheeran sings in the second movie.
All right.
Yes, I like, but not as I like Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings is it's impossible to explain. Yes,
it's much better.
It's much better. Like the feeling we have when we watch Lord of the Rings.
I think it's the acting. Everything's better in the Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
Everything. I think everything works better in the Lord of the Rings.
Especially for the time it was launched, yes.
Yes.
2000.
Yes. So that was it, guys. We are expecting the release of Lord of the Rings: Rings of Power to September.
Yes.
So probably in September we are going to do a new video because we are big Lord of the Rings fans. And when we watch the series, we are certainly going to be watching that series. After 3 or 4 episodes, let's watch the first bunch of episodes.
Yes.
Então vamos assistir os primeiros episódios para ter uma opinião mais formada, 3, 4 episódios, e aí a gente vai fazer um vídeo também falando sobre o que a gente acha dessa série que vai se passar milhares de anos antes do primeiro Senhor dos Anéis. Aliás, do primeiro Senhor dos Anéis não, do Hobbit que veio antes do Senhor dos Anéis. Então é um prequel da prequel.
Vai ser uma série focada na criação dos anéis, de como que era o universo naquela época. Né?
Aquilo que fala rapidinho no Senhor dos Anéis, que é uma das melhores, para mim, uma das melhores aberturas de todos os tempos, aliás, no Senhor dos Anéis, a Sociedade do Anel. Antes da Sociedade do Anel começar, o filme tem uma das mais brilhantes introduções da história. Porque tudo que envolve a criação dos Anéis do Poder é essencial para você entender tudo que está em jogo em O Senhor dos Anéis. E o filme, os créditos de O Senhor dos Anéis, A Sociedade do Anel, só começam depois de uma abertura, uma introdução, um prólogo, que explica isso. É 5 minutinhos, mas são 5 minutinhos sucintos, mas que explicam muito bem qual que é a dinâmica da criação desses Anéis do Poder.
Sim.
Agora, pelo que o que se sabe dessa série, a gente vai ver em mais detalhes como é que foi isso. So, guys, that was it.
Thank you for watching.
That was our special episode for Lord of the Rings. See you in the next Newcastle podcast.
Yeah.
Curtam, comentem, se inscrevam no canal.
Até mais, galera. Um abraço.
See you, guys.
See you. Bye, bye.
Bye, bye.